Eventually we'll deal with scenes that have hundreds of objects in them, if not more. But for now, we're just going to deal with this simple cube as a tool to explain the way we select and position objects in a simple way within Blender. So right now we don't have much. In fact, you may have seen me even in previous videos just clicking on these objects and instantly selecting them. Selecting objects in Blender is really as simple as that. You can hover over the object, left click, and it'll bring the object into focus and select it. And it's simple, wonderful, and gets the job done. What I want to call out is that you can also do this same action by selecting items over here in your outliner, or as I might call it sometimes, the hierarchy or collection window. Doing this gives you just a little bit more physical accuracy when you're dealing with multiple objects. Just 3, no problem. Click anywhere here in the viewport and it's easy to get what you want. But if you had hundreds of objects here, or say an object with lots of little intricate parts, sometimes it's easier to just select over here in the outliner to make sure you're getting exactly what you need. Once selected, you can simply move objects by clicking on the first of our different manipulation tools. You can click on the Move tool, and that's going to change the display here for this cube by displaying a gizmo. And the gizmo is what I refer to, or what I name this red, green, and blue visual icon. I mentioned this is a orbiting gizmo earlier. So anytime I refer to as a gizmo, this is kind of what I'm referring to. It has 3 arrows. These arrows control which axis you move this object along if you choose to move it. So we can move it along the X, the Y as I have, or the Z. Now I'll reiterate that Blender is what's referred to as a Z-up world, meaning that the Z-axis moves up and down. Now, this is different than tools like, say, Maya or Lightwave. And it may even throw you off with tools like maybe even some more advanced versions of Photoshop, because Photoshop is a 2D tool, starts off with X and Y, and because it's 2 dimensions, the Y is naturally up. So this may throw you off for just a little while, but just know that as you're getting more familiar with Blender, that if you export this to other tools, you can convert some of that stuff as you're exporting, so don't fret too much. So I can move these things over here. But as you'll hear me say more than once, there's multiple ways to get things done. If you recall, we could orbit using this interface or with our buttons. We could select by clicking here or up in the outliner. We can also move this object by clicking on these arrows, or we can go over into the Object Properties panel, which is selected here. If for some reason you don't have it selected, come down to the Properties window, click on Object Properties, which is this little icon here, and notice that it says Transform Location XYZ. That's what we want to see. And we can click on, say, the X-axis, click and drag in those values, and you'll see that it moves our cube. Click on the Y-axis, and it does the same as you might expect, and same for the Z. Now this is helpful because if we want to put this at 1, tab 1, tab 1, very precisely, at 1 meter cubed, just off to the right, we can just type those values in to this numeric entry, and it gives us a very precise location and position for that object. So it's really helpful. So moral of the story, multiple ways to get things done. You have a little bit more imperfect ways of moving, and then you have some very specific ways. And each of these methods will be called into action as you're going through Blender throughout the semester. So explore and experiment with this, and we'll get into some other options in the next video.